Guys, I'm going to take you through one of my arms workouts with a positions of flexion focus. So when I talk about positions of flexion, what I'm referring to is a training protocol or a training method that is based on this idea that any muscle group can exert its maximum force through any one of three positions of flexion. The first position of flexion is mid-range, the second is stretched, the third is contracted. So when we talk about the mid-range position of flexion, we're talking about any muscle group exerting its maximum force through the mid-range of a muscle contraction. When we talk about stretch position of flexion, we're talking about any muscle group exerting maximum force when it's fully elongated, when it's in a fully stretched position. And then finally, when we talk about contracted position of flexion, we're talking about a muscle exerting its maximum force when the muscle is in a fully contracted position. You can apply this training protocol to any muscle group whatsoever. I really find it quite useful when training arms because with arms exercises, it's very easy to identify which exercises are targeting each position of flexion and really focus in on maximizing each exercise to target a specific position of flexion. So this arms workout, I'm going to hit biceps and triceps together. For each biceps and triceps, I'm going to hit one exercise that targets each position of flexion specifically, and I'll talk you guys through those as we get through the workout. Let's go. Starting this workout off with a mid-range position of flexion biceps movement. Now I've chosen to do arm blaster dumbbell curls here. I really like the arm blaster as a bicep training apparatus because it makes sure that you're keeping the tension in your biceps. The way that it does this, as you guys will see as I set this exercise up, is that it keeps your elbows really almost in line with, but slightly in front of your torso. So this really allows on the eccentric, which is the negative phase of each rep, to keep tension in the biceps, which is where you want it. If you do conventional dumbbell bicep curls, a lot of the time that tension goes into the front and middle delt. So that's really why I like the arm blaster. As you guys can see, this is a mid-range position of flexion movement, meaning that the bicep exerts maximum force through the mid-range of the contraction, as are most conventional biceps curls. I'm gonna hit 5 working sets here. I'm gonna do some extended hypertrophy for this first exercise, and then we're gonna flip it. I'm gonna go straight to triceps. The first tricep movement, I'm gonna do machine triceps dips with the Phat grips. This is a mid-range position of flexion tricep movement, which means the tricep exerts its maximum force through the mid-range of the movement. So as you guys can see, when I'm using this position of flexion protocol, I do like to start with these mid-range movements because it is really where the muscle is the most powerful. I'm using the Phat grips here. It just allows me to focus more on my triceps. A little tip for this exercise, guys, I see a lot of people bring their elbows up too high on this particular, really on any dip. What that's gonna do is gonna bring in more chest and more deltoid and take tension out of the triceps. You wanna keep as much tension in the triceps as you possibly can throughout each and every rep. So make sure that your elbows really don't need to come higher than to create a 90-degree angle between your upper arm and your forearm. Back to biceps, I'm gonna move into a stretched position of flexion bicep movement. This means the bicep is gonna exert maximum force when it's in the stretched position. So I'm gonna do 5-a-side incline dumbbell curls. This is one of my little specialty type movements. So conventional incline dumbbell curls, you might do them at the same time, you might do them alternating. What I do here is I do 5 reps on one side, 5 reps on the other side, and then back to the left, for example, for another 5 reps, back to the right for another 5 reps until I can't get 5 reps. The thing to note here is the arm that's not working. So right now my right arm is not working, it's resting, has to stay in a palms open, stretched position to make sure that you're getting the most out of this stretched position of flexion biceps movement. So you see now my left arm's working, my bicep is in an elongated, stretched, open palm position. I fail on the left, I'm gonna go back to the right, and while my right arm's working, the left arm stays in a palms open, fully elongated, stretched position. That makes sure that you're really gonna get the most out of this exercise. I'm gonna do 5 working sets, 5 aside until I can't get 5 reps. Then we're gonna flip it back to triceps for a stretch position of flexion triceps movement. Here I'm gonna do isolateral overhead dumbbell extensions. Isolateral means one arm at a time, and this particular movement makes sure that the tricep is exerting its maximum force when it's in that stretched position of flexion. A couple of things to note, some peculiarities about how I do this exercise. You notice I do them cross body. So at the moment, my right triceps working, the dumbbell is actually on the left side of my torso. I'm about to fail here and flip it. You notice when my left side is working, the dumbbell's on the right side of my torso. That makes sure that I'm getting the maximum stretch through each tricep to make the most of the stretch position of flexion movement that I'm doing here. The next thing to note, and this really is really important when doing any overhead tricep movement, is that you keep your elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. As soon as you drop those elbows, you're gonna start bringing your delts in particular your front delt, which is gonna take tension out of your triceps and put it in the delts. You wanna keep tension in the triceps, and the way you achieve that is to keep those elbows pointing up towards the ceiling on each and every rep. 5 working sets, extended hypertrophy on this one, and then we're gonna hit biceps for a contracted position of flexion movement. I'm gonna do machine preacher curls. Once again, I busted out the Phat grips for this particular movement. This is a contracted position of flexion biceps movement, which means the bicep exerts its maximum force in that fully contracted position. And the way we achieve that is by keeping elbows in front of our torso. The one thing to note with preacher curls in particular is you wanna make sure your elbows stay on the preacher pad. As soon as they come off that preacher pad, tension is gonna go into your deltoids and out of your biceps. I like using the Phat grips here because once again, for me, Phat grips actually take tension out of my forearms and allow me to focus my mind-muscle connection on my bicep instead of gripping the handle. 5 working sets, extended hypertrophy here as well. And then to finish this arms workout off, no surprises here, we have a contracted position of flexion triceps movement. So what I've decided to round out this workout is with these isolateral, which means one arm at a time, cable kickbacks. This is one of my favorite contracted position of flexion tricep movements. A couple of things to note with this particular exercise. Once again, your elbow position is so crucial to making the most of this contracted position of flexion movement, guys. You want to keep those elbows high, but not too high. If they come up above your torso too much, you're gonna bring too much rear delt in. If they drop below, you're gonna bring too much front delt in. So what I like to do is I like to keep my upper arm parallel to the floor below me and keep my elbow fixed in that position during each and every rep. That's gonna make sure you keep tension in your triceps and out of your deltoids as much as possible. Because this is a contracted position of flexion movement, you wanna make sure that you emphasize the squeeze on each and every rep. So you guys will see at the top of each rep, when the triceps fully engaged, I actually pause for a count. So I squeeze, pause for a count, and then slowly lower the weight back down. The cables here are really cool because they allow constant tension. If you're doing this with a dumbbell, you're gonna lose tension towards the bottom of each and every rep. That's why I choose to use the cables. I got myself 5 working sets, extended hypertrophy, and that'll be a wrap for this arms workout. Guys, I used extended hypertrophy quite a lot during this arms workout, so I've popped a link down below in the description box on the YouTube channel. If you guys want to go check out exactly how to perform extended hypertrophy, all of the information is there for you. I want you guys to give this arms workout a shot on your next arm day. Let me know in the comments down below how you found it, and also if there's anything else that you want to see me train, give you some tips and tricks. Perhaps there's a training protocol you want to see me talk you guys through. Perhaps there's a specific range of exercises for a specific muscle group that you want some tips and tricks on how to get the most out of. Pop that down below as a comment as well. You may get your request answered in the next episode of The Pump. Guys, that's a wrap for this episode. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, your desktop PC, and anywhere else that you're watching this video so you don't miss a beat when it comes to all the new episodes of The Pump on the MassiveJoes YouTube channel and all the other series we got going on. Until next time, I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive. Thank you for tuning in to this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.